It's been close to 10 years before we see a new launch in Woodlands. So this video is only the first look on why I think this Champions Way land bought by CDL will be an eye-opener when you get to launch end of this year. Let's go. So as you can see from the thumbnail, I said that it is about 2 minutes walk to MRT. I'm not wrong. I went to the actual site and this is how near the MRT is. Shooting from the entrance of the Woodlands South MRT is just a traffic junction and a short walk away. And literally you can see your house right at the MRT station. And why is this so special? It's not only because it's 2 minutes walk to MRT, it is by far the closest condo you can find in Woodlands itself. Considering Marsiling, Woodlands and Mirati are considered Woodlands, this is the closest condo that can walk to MRT station. So this is why it's so significant for those northern dwellers. Unless you're talking about the new white sites that is happening in Woodlands Central, that it will take some time before the land will be sold and launched, then this land will be the closest to MRT. Not only this, I will argue that why this land is almost without any flaw. Okay, let me explain. So firstly, you can see this big red color land that is zoned for hospital, which is called the Woodlands Health Campus. Currently is closing to completion. You can see from this video itself that it's almost done, waiting for the opening ceremony only. So this is a very gigantic hospital whereby it's partial 人池, partial general and community hospital, and plus there's a therapeutic garden right beside this hospital. And it is newly built, and you can see that it's a very nice slope up from the ground all the way to the park connector on top. So why this new hospital is very important to the residents in Champions Way is because, like I said in the previous video, a lot of doctors, nurses and IT professionals will be working there, and this is the only condo that is so near their workplace. So very good demand for housing and rental next time. The next pointer will be schools. So nowadays we all know that parents like to buy near schools, and take a look at how many schools we have within the vicinity. We do have a major sports school. I think it might be the only sports school in Singapore, right beside us. We have Innova JC, which is right beside us as well. We have 2 primary schools, one Innova and one Woodgrove, which is just slightly further away. And we also have 2 secondary schools, Christchurch Woodgrove Secondary, which is also within walking distance. So that many choices. Basically, you can stay there until your kids reach JC level. Then you can consider moving up. So this is a one place fits it all neighborhood, whereby you not only have schools, you have transport, and we also have amenities. Talking about amenities, the nearest will be the NTUC at the HDB called Champions Court. And if you walk slightly further away, you have this area called Vista Point, where you have a lot of eateries, even McDonald's are there, and Giant Supermarket. Other than the public amenities, the schools and the transport, if you take one station upwards, you will reach Woodlands Central. And if you can see from this master plan, there is a lot of residential land that is currently sold for BTO, unfortunately, but there is still 2 major white sites plus a mixed development land right beside the station. And mind you, this mixed development land is just rezoned by URA. Initially, it is a residential land. So very interesting that the government is trying to create a lot more amenities in Woodlands Central itself. And this is the more important thing, that the 2 white sites that is currently open for application for private developer to bid is these 2. The squarish smaller land is actually currently used mainly for the bazaar or pasar malam, and this triangular long shaped land is currently empty. But these 2 land are combined for application right now. So I have been discussing with my client and agents why this land will be likely bid by one developer. Please comment below which developer you think will want to bid this white site and why. I will touch on in the follow-up video when more information is out. So white side, why is it so important for this white side? So a little bit of breakdown, white side can be built for anything. And if we click on the description by URA, it can build as residential, office, shopping mall, or even hotel. But for the breakdown of the specs of what can be built for this white side, unfortunately hotel cannot be built, but it doesn't matter. Even without the hotel in place, you will still have an office block, you have a residential block, and you have shopping mall extended from Causeway Point below your house. So if this is combined with Causeway Point, oh shit, I think I give out the answer already. It will be even bigger than the biggest mall in the north, which is in Yishun, North Point City. So if north side is not a cup of tea, do click on the card above to see the 5 land is coming up in Tampines in 2025 and 2026. So now let's go to the north of Woodlands and see what is going to happen there. Okay, we are just 2 stations away from Woodlands South. We will reach Woodlands North Station. It is also a Thomson East Coast line, which I forgot to mention earlier, but this Woodlands North Station currently is barren, whereby there's no residential there. There's only one Republic Poly. But one thing is very interesting is because this station is going to be a custom station. It will interchange you to the RTS to Johor. So this station, it will be an in-between interchange whereby you go through the customs and you can take a train right to Johor Bahru, where you no need to cut through the existing custom anymore. And it will be open in 2026. So we are just 2 years to the opening, and travel to Johor will never be the same when this is open. So why is this so important? Because there is a lot more residential land beside this station. And currently they already drawn out the plot ratio. As you can see, there's one plot ratio which is 4.0. Okay, and it's very tall for this land itself. And this land is already sitting on a hill. So it may be over 20 stories, overlooking the whole of Admiralty Park and even the Straits of Johor. Of course, I'm not asking you to wait until the land. Likely it will be a mixture of EC, BTO and private condo. And it is really stone throw away to Woodlands North Station. So imagine the kind of convenience and the opportunity it will give when the station is open through the connection to Johor. At Woodlands North, there's a lot more happening down there. As you can see, Woodlands Waterfront, the current park that's facing the sea, is going to be extended all the way to this industrial area. And right behind the Woodlands Waterfront Park, there is this pink colored zoning. And pink colour zoning is actually zoned for residential above and a level 1 commercial below. So right now I don't have any example on how this will look like facing the seafront, but I would rather the government to sell to private developer, as it will greatly enhance the environment, and this is the reason why you want to buy a seafront housing. So other than this, on the right side of Woodlands North, JTC owns the entire piece of land, and you can see one of the zoning will be a business park, which is right above the custom. And there's a lot of commercial zoning, the dark blue color right beside the MRT. And currently, JTC already built the first building there, which is called the Woodlands North Coast. So that will kick off all the industrial zoning in the Woodlands North itself. Why I think this land is an eye-opener when you get to launch is because the developer is City Developments. Okay, so for City Development to eye on a piece of land and be the first mover here within the new price range definitely signify they must have seen something that we have not seen. So does it make sense to enter today? And comparing to further down, there will be Springleaf, and there will be 2 residential land over there and the whole cluster of Lentor within Lentor Station. So these condos will further push up the price if you buy this Champions Way land. So this is only my 2 cents. When more info is out, you will know why I mean by this land is an eye-opener. So if they're going to launch end of this year, do consider subscribing if you want more news or updates for this condo, as I will pay close attention to this development. So when will it launch? Likely they will launch in the last quarter in 2024 or early next year. Because the land is awarded in September 2023, they will take likely 1 to 1.5 years before the approval is done. Right now, they already hoarded up. So meaning to say, if foundation is starting, means that the approval is likely taken. It's only when the developer want to launch. For pricing, how much will this land cost when you get to launch? Rather than looking at the land cost and the break-even price, if you want to talk about how the developer will price this development, I would say 1,008 to 1,009 per square feet at launch is a reasonable price, because it is costly cheaper than Lentor, which is further central, but the opportunity and the appreciation is way higher in my opinion, in Champions Way compared to Lentor. Although it is not a landed estate or a private estate, but there's a lot of factors which I covered earlier that will push up the price of this Champions Way land. So it's up to you whether you want to go further south to buy Lentor, even Springleaf. I would say this Woodlands land has checked a lot of boxes, namely the MRTs, the schools, the amenities, future growth, future commercial demand. So these 5 pointers, I think it will further enhance your price appreciation value in the future when you get to sell. See you in the next one.